It's
Right.
been a number of years since the last episode of the
And
Proscats, but now we're back, probably for only 3 episodes, because we seem to come back for 3 episodes and then leave for three
yeah,
months or more, depending on the circumstances. But we're
listen,
back.
you gotta keep the people waiting.
Yeah, I mean, too much of
Masses yearn for more proscats, and if we
exactly.
give it to them, we're gonna end up a slave to this process,
You can't oversaturate the market. This is what they say.
Exactly.
You
This
can't
is what I'm saying.
we can't desensitize them to our great content. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing, right? So,
Yes.
so we're back. And today,
Ugh.
Prosper, would you like to reveal the movie that's definitely not in the title that we're going to be reviewing today?
Spider-Man.
Okay, we gotta pull out the. Oh no, I don't have access to the.
Uh,
Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna have to do it.
um, do what? What am I doing?
Never mind. Don't worry
It's
about it.
Spider-Man.
It
It's
is
Spider.
is
It's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man across
Very very easy to
Spider-Verse.
confuse, because the first one was into, but now it's across. So first you went into it, and then went across.
Yeah. And then the next one, I guess, is gonna be like the end of the Spider-Verse. Ooh.
We
I don't
should
know.
probably know what the next one is. Well, like, so you go in.
Untitled third Spider-Verse
Well,
movie.
it definitely has Spider-Verse in the title, right? And probably Spider-Man, you would think, as well. So
Spider-Man.
first he went in, then he went across. Does he go out? So is it out of the
No, it's just
Spider-Verse?
the end. It's the end of the Spider-Verse.
The end? Is that the actual?
No, I don't know. I'm just assuming it's the end.
Well, as Prosper had alluded to, for those of you who may not be aware, this movie, spoiler alert, is part one of two of the sequel to the first movie.
It's they're gonna make it a trilogy. I don't think it's part one of two.
Part
You
one
know,
of two of okay, it's not technically part one
it's
of
the
two,
middle.
but the movie, the,
It
the
leaves
movie,
it leaves it off on a cliffhanger. We
there's
can
it's
say
like
that.
it's like Infinity War Endgame level, like part one, part two.
Yeah, I mean, but you could also say it's like Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be another one. I would just say it's a trilogy. It's not because so
Well, I mean, you could say that about the Fast and Furious franchise because they're always going to make another one, but they end the movie like,
well. I wouldn't say that because I wouldn't say it's like that because like with Star Wars, you knew they made it clear that there was gonna be an original trilogy after they decided to make more than just the first movie. And like Empire Strikes Back isn't called part one like Endgame and Infinity War are, because like there's just the Avengers movie, and then there's Ultron, right? So there were
yep.
four Avengers movies, and technically, I mean, Civil War was pretty much an Avengers movie. Um, so
Yeah,
like,
I always thought it was for like the longest time, but I mean,
yeah.
it has all of them. It's just labeled differently.
So you
But
have the part one and part two to distinguish it's the end, and the same thing's happening with the Mission Impossible series right now. It's Dead Reckoning Part One, even though
I've
it's
I-
the
I've been
seventh movie.
I've been rewatching all of them except for the first two
Oh,
because they weren't
they're
uh
not.
they're not
Yeah,
as good. But the third
I
one,
think
third one's pretty solid. Fourth one, fifth one, sixth one are really good in my opinion.
I think maybe we could make this
Well,
another Proscats
definitely
episode
five
later.
and six are good for sure.
I think Mission Impossible 6 Fallout is probably one of the best action movies of all
Oh, it's
time.
so good. It's so
It's
good.
that
Do we
I
do we
love
want to just
every single.
review? Do we just review
Let's just
that?
read fuck the Spider-Verse.
We're reviewing Mission. I actually watched it like last week, so I'm probably better in my head.
Yeah, oh,
Um,
I've seen that movie so many times. It's
I
like if I were to go to a desert island and take a couple movies, there's be the usual ones like Nice Guys and Glorious Bastards. Boom, Mission Impossible Fallout. I don't even need to watch the first ones. You know,
Prosper, you're probably on like a list for that list of movies that you're listing out there.
I'm on a list.
Yeah,
I'm Ryan Gosling list. Is
you're on
what I'm
the.
on.
You
I'm
see that
him.
thing where everybody where he said like, guys, stop, like all those people are like losers or whatever. All the people who like say they want to be like him are like losers. He like said that, which is so. It's,
He's not wrong. He's
no,
not
he's
wrong.
he's definitely not wrong, but
Um, no, but that. Oh, yeah. Are we doing that? I'm okay with doing that.
yeah, I that sounds like the natural progression we're going for here.
All right. And that movie's got fucking Henry Cavill in it.
I
Sorry, I
know.
didn't mean
I
to
was gonna.
swear, but
All
get
right,
hyped for Henry
and
Cavill.
we're demonetized. Not that we
Ah,
were ever monetized in the first place,
yeah.
but yeah. So, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Fallout.
We already covered the Spider Verse. I don't think there was anything we really needed to go over, to be honest.
um.
It was really good.
Yeah. I don't. I didn't like the beginning where it was like Gwen Stacy's thing because like the weird like music and like the way they animated it, like when Peter Parker turned into the lizard and was like rampaging around, like it felt off to me.
Yeah, I
Rest,
guess. I mean, I
you
I
know what I
like
mean?
I like the old like the vulture that was kind of like
Yeah, like a
what
Leonardo da Vinci
Leonardo da
vulture.
Vinci vulture. I couldn't think of the name for
Yeah,
some reason, but
yeah,
yeah, I like that.
yeah.
But
I mean, I liked the movie. It was great. In fact, I thought it was better than the first one.
I thought it was better. Well, I also I the week after I watched it, went back. I didn't watch the first one before I saw it, but I went because I remembered it well. But I went back and watched the first one with my uncle who had never seen it before. Um, and the animation, even though it was amazing in the first one, is like even noticeably better in the second Spider-Verse movie,
Yeah,
which I didn't think was possible.
yeah.
That like I knew it was gonna be better because it's like it's been 5 years or something, but like it's just so clean. Like it's incredible. I guess technology, it's exponentially increasing and everything, but I just thought that was gonna be it. They weren't gonna be able to improve on it that much, but it was that good. It's really, especially with not to go on a rant here. Uh, but especially with the like Marvel kind of rushing out all their movies and like having really shitty CGI, overworking their CGI artists and studios. Now, like it's not the CGI artists who are striking, but you have multiple strikes in Hollywood. It's not surprising. And then you have a movie like this that they've definitely clearly been working on since the first one, or like for a very long time, that has like a ton of thought and detail and like artistic, like they let the artists like really express themselves. It's really just like a polar opposite and like a great example of what a action superhero movie can be when given the
Yeah,
right thought and time and not, oversaturating the market with like mediocre blah. So,
yeah. And then, I mean, all the Easter eggs too for
oh
fans.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's the cherry on top. Um, and again to your animation thing with Disney. I don't mean to jump to a third film now, but I did see Indiana Jones 5 a couple days ago, and not only is it one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that's not for the. I know
For
some
the
people are out
impressions,
there.
yeah.
I mean, it's not because of like I know like a lot of people online talking about the movie. They might get their opinions from people like the Critical Drinker or something like that, where it's like, oh, woke Hollywood and all that bullshit. I don't care about that. Just looking at the movie, watching the movie, the plot, the character development, the CGI, which is what I'm segueing into here, all of it was garbage. The I don't know who did the de-aging on Harrison Ford in the like there was like a 30-minute the movie opened with like a 30-minute flashback to World War II and it was like young Indiana Jones and they like de-aged Harrison Ford. It was the most like it was the worst CGI I've ever seen. Like you could tell it was fake. Like it was like a video game character surrounded by like real life characters. And then on top of that, like it wasn't just the face. There were scenes where they would just have a CGI character as Indiana Jones like doing a stunt.
Wow.
So it was like what the, and it wasn't just that. It carried on throughout the entire movie for a lot of the stunts. They just CGI'd. And it just felt so blah. And it felt like it's just like they wanted to do it the quickest way, so like it's just passable and there's no real love or anything put into it. And it kind of just degraded the whole value of the movie. And then on top of it with the plot and the characters, it was all just so fucking stupid. And I think going from seeing Across the Spider-Verse, a week before that to seeing Indiana Jones 5, it just further reinforces just how good you can make a movie with animation or CGI or anything like that compared to just I don't know what Disney's doing. I just don't know what they're doing.
They're running the profit, the money making machine, because the I guess like so far at least like the people are still in the seats, right? For all this like stuff. So it's like, from a resource perspective, they're putting in less effort and still getting like a good return. But I think kind of
Um,
not to say like random, not to say like some basic stuff like that other people have said, but I do want to repeat it's like, especially with like people have been saying Marvel fatigue. I don't know if I have it. I think they're just producing worse movies.
yeah, I don't
Um,
think it's Marvel fatigue at all.
I think they're producing worse movies, and people are kind of getting sick of the fact that the movies are not good,
Yeah,
or not as good as they used to be. So eventually, I think people will stop caring. Although Guardians 3 was really good. Uh,
Guardians 3 was very good. I think I said it in a previous Proscats episode, but like if you look at some of the Marvel movies that have come out that have been like really controlled by the studio over the past couple years, like the Eternals and Doctor Strange 2, even though I kind of like Doctor Strange 2, um, they feel like just completely different movies from, say, like the first Iron Man or the first Captain America, the first Avengers, even. All the way up until I think Civil War, and then after that, it just felt like it was an assembly line of let's put someone in a skin tight suit surrounded by glowing blue CGI and you got yourself 500 to $1 billion right there.
yeah,
You know,
and it's like
um,
I love Marvel. Like I kind of have like I saw Iron Man when I was a kid in theaters, and like I really liked it, and I've kind of seen
mhm.
all the movies since. And just hearing how bad Ant-Man was, like the Quantumania, like I have
Ugh.
no, it's on Disney Plus. I have Disney
Wait,
Plus.
you haven't even seen it yet?
I have no desire to see it, like really, like to be honest,
Yeah,
like it's
I feel
just like
like
it's like you can't just produce like mediocre stuff. And I guess this kind of goes back to the point that the Spider-Verse is just that good that it makes Disney and Marvel look so bad. Um, like
yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of embarrassing for Marvel. Like just like I mean, I guess the only thing is like, you get one movie where I guess technically because the new Spider-Verse is coming out next year, so you get two movies in 5 years versus like a whole bunch of random people, but it's not like they have the
Like
same number of
every other
people.
year.
It's
Yeah.
not like they have the same people working on everything. Like I'm sure Marvel has much more resources than the Spider-Verse team, but it does take more time to do that kind of stuff, so
Man,
um
maybe we should just make this like a just a general
I
state of movies episode.
I think we can just
Because
review as many movies as possible in
because
like
I
an
mean, while
hour.
we're talking about it, I mean, next year we've got Deadpool 3 coming out, which I think is going to be awesome because the first two were awesome.
Who's
And
directing? Is it the same guy?
I'm not sure who's directing it. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds has a lot of input into it. But
Yeah.
one of the cool things is that Hugh Jackman's coming back as
As
Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah.
So that's going to be awesome because I'm not the biggest fan of X-Men, but as with everyone, you gotta love Wolverine and what Hugh Jackman brought to that
Oh
character.
yeah. No, he's a
Um,
he's a bit of a Chad, as the kids say these
yeah.
days.
I
No,
did. One of Wolverine was one of my favorite movies. In my early mid-teens era. Because it came out
oh
in I think
yeah,
2013.
I really liked whichever. I actually, when I was a kid, I've kind of come to the realization that like a lot of the stuff I watched as a kid wasn't actually good, and
Yeah.
like I really liked whichever what one the Wolverine movie was where they had Ryan Reynolds as the original Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yeah. X-Men
And
Origins
and I
Wolverine.
I actually thought that was so cool that he had like swords as a kid, and
Yeah, that came out
I
of
was
his
like
arms.
I was like so scared. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I
I
think
was
I
like,
think most people forget that too, because that's also going to be another cool thing because they both played the character in that movie, and that movie probably came out in like 2008,
8 or 9.
2009.
I also
Yeah, and
yeah.
here we are 15 years later, and they're both playing the same character in a much more I want to say mature, but also more just a better version of the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're all for, learning from your mistakes, and you kind of have to, fail at like I feel like a lot of like the coolest things are like always like, people learning from their failures. Like like before George Lucas made Star Wars, didn't he like failed or something? Or did he made Howard the Duck after or before Star Wars?
Oh,
I forget.
I'm not sure.
But he was
Not
like
sure. I know
not.
he's made for. I know he was known for American Graffiti, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was before that, but maybe that's not a good analogy. But still very cool to see them,
Yeah,
reinvent themselves that way. I
with
will
the same
say,
characters too
yeah, I
that they've played before.
I do want to ask you, Prosper, is there anything that you watched when you were younger that you really liked, and then now that you look at like the reviews and like you rewatched it, like you realize it was actually horrendous?
Sir, we did a Pros Cats review of it. Speed
What? Speed
Racer.
Racer? That's all. That's still a good movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everyone fucking hates it.
Why does
Real
everybody hate
Steel.
Real?
Real Steel starring Hugh Jackman as
Real
well.
Steel is also a good movie. What are you talking
These
about?
no, these movies are panned as terrible. Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim is a great movie.
It is a great movie, but people don't like it.
Well, because
If you look at
people,
the
well,
if you look at the reviews,
because
like
like,
even the Rotten Tomato reviews aren't great for those movies.
okay, but like, I mean, like, I feel like they're like 70 at least. Like, that's fine. I feel like, I mean, I guess like Rotten Tomatoes is a little misleading because like if you actually go into the reviews, like it's like an amalgamation of different scales, and sometimes you'll get like a Rotten Tomato for getting like a 3 out of 5 or something, or like a 2.5 out of 5. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, I was gonna say like those movies aren't supposed to be like going for Oscars or anything. Like they achieved
No.
what they were gonna do and they did it really well. Because like
Yeah.
realistically, like a big dumb robot movie that embraces itself as a big dumb robot movie is gonna be great, but it's not gonna win an Academy Award. It's like
Yeah.
it's not
But
that
I
deep.
think you kind of see like the dichotomy between movies like there are serious movies that don't take themselves seriously,
Yeah,
like Real Steel, for example. It's a serious movie in its topic. They don't make jokes within the movie that kind of like degrade the value of what the movie's bringing to the table. But at the same time, it's not a serious movie like a drama or
yeah.
something like that. But then you also have a movie like Deadpool where it doesn't take itself seriously and it's not a serious movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so like both those movies, they're not setting out to make Oscars, but one takes itself serious even though it's not serious, where the other one takes doesn't take itself seriously. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of like the Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman movie,
Yeah, like that movie wasn't serious,
but they took it
but it took
serious.
itself very serious.
Yeah,
And people just fucking laughed at it.
I
And I think a lot of people like what's it called? Self-deprecating humor, right?
yeah, yeah, making fun
And
of yourself. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
and so
that's what a
that's
lot of
what
comedians do. So
yeah,
Kevin
and like
Hart, I mean, I don't really like Kevin Hart that much, but I did when I was younger, and that's
mhm,
literally all he does. So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but what I was gonna say is, what was I gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
Man, oh, maybe. Oh, I was gonna say the new Suicide
Potentially.
Squad movie was really
There's a new
good.
one?
No, no,
Oh,
no, no.
oh
The
yeah,
James
okay, I got
Gunn
you.
one,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
remake,
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad
yeah, and
is
that's a those two movies perfect example of that.
yeah, it's a serious movie that doesn't take itself seriously at all, which is like great.
Well,
Um,
I don't think it is a serious movie.
oh, oh, I guess yeah,
I
I guess
think
there is a
the first
giant.
one was
I
the
guess
first.
spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
it's been out a while.
The villain is a gigantic like 150-foot starfish.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. The first Suicide Squad with Will Smith, that movie took itself serious, even though it wasn't a serious movie.
Yeah,
This the Suicide Squad, if you will, wasn't serious, and it didn't take itself
yeah,
serious.
you're right. I'm incorrect. It is both
Yeah,
unserious and didn't take itself. Ooh,
yeah. And
sorry. Seriously.
I think that might be a problem with the Marvel movies too.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna say
because
that. Yeah.
they weren't serious movies that took themselves serious early on, and then after Guardians of the Galaxy, they found you can throw in a bunch of jokes into a movie and it works. They started to become not serious movies that didn't take themselves serious, but it didn't rub off the right way because there was originally an element of like seriousness.
Yeah,
How
I
many
mean,
times did I say serious there?
I liked how I think the reason like Infinity War and Endgame works so well is because like there aren't that many jokes like I think if you look back on it because the actual premise is at least that I remember I don't remember there being compared to the average Marvel movie like the premise is actually quite serious and yeah it is a Marvel movie so it's like it's never gonna be like fully serious but it's like it felt like they were actually like if it's like a Earth ending universe like ending event,
Mhm.
and it took itself like it's different from Ant-Man, you know, which is just
Yeah,
like some
yeah,
regular size guy, petty criminal comes into the small guy and hangs out with uses the power of ants to
yeah.
defeat another guy in a
Mhm.
different suit,
Antsuit,
a different ant suit.
who later becomes a fucking giant. Oh, you haven't even seen it yet.
I
Oh my
know
god.
I know about that.
I
I,
I think I mentioned it. I watched that with. I
that's
think Ben. That was the review we did, right?
oh
We
yeah.
reviewed it, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we
can't even
did.
remember.
We did
Dude,
review it.
dude in the fucking theater when Ben and I were watching it, the friend of the podcast, Ben and I, when we were watching it, and like the mask was on and it came up, like I audibly fucking laughed, like
I mean, it is true.
the whole
I've
theater was hearing me just laugh and how fucking stupid it was.
I've seen the picture of like it. It just looks so funny. It's like I hope they made it as like a joke or something. But
I think they made it as a joke and it backfired.
because I think nobody remembered who that was. Because nobody like cares about like I think you'd struggle to find anybody beside under the age
Uh,
of 15 whose favorite superhero is Ant-Man.
yeah, man, yeah,
I mean, I like Paul Rudd. It's just it's Ant-Man. Like, what do you mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
It's 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 definitely something, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, and eh, another thing that I wish they did is old Indiana Jones movies were filmed a distinct way, just because they were made in the 80s, right? The cameras were different, the framing was different, right? The way they did special effects and stunts was different. It would have
Probably.
been so cool if they had made Indiana Jones 5 like one of the original 3 Indiana Jones movies. You know what I mean? Like they filmed it like an Indiana Jones movie. Like from back like if they you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they made it like a a historical piece about the Indiana Jones franchise. No, like
No.
they use like they
Old cameras and they use old filming
they
techniques
make you
and
feel like Spider-Man while you're
yeah,
watching the
like how
movie.
animated Spider-Man movie makes you feel. Except
Yeah.
that it was like the end cuz like if you look like I always think of the Indiana Jones scene. in The Last Crusade where they're in the desert on top of the tank fighting and stuff like that, and like all that whole action sequence around that tank. And it's like, what if they made a scene like that like today? It doesn't have to be like around a tank or anything, but like what if they filmed it like the way they filmed it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Make it feel like it was filmed in the 1980s using 1980s filming techniques. I don't understand why they do that, because it was like Indiana Jones 5 was filmed like a fucking Disney movie. It's like
yeah, and I
it
think
was like
there's definitely a
jokes and
tendency
MacGuffins.
to default to CGI because it's what's been done, but it's like, I mean, Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
uses a lot of practical effects, like famously, but like, CGI is like everything has its place, CGI
Mhm.
is never gonna like completely substitute for like real things if you can do them for real. So I don't understand why they like continue to use CGI, especially when more people complain about it probably than ever, especially
Mhm.
with Marvel and other stuff, Disney movies. Um, yeah, I, I personally have not seen the new Indiana Jones movie. I don't intend on seeing it really.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
It's
But it's
maybe
just
when it comes out on streaming, but
so I'll give you a quick example. In the opening flashback to World War II scene, Indiana Jones is trying to get onto a train that has a stolen artifact by the Nazis, and
is it the Dial
he,
of Destiny?
well, not at first. That they find it on the train. It's a whole
Ah,
thing. But
okay.
um, he gets onto a motorcycle with a sidecar, and like there's two Germans on the car, right? And he like pulls the one German out of the sidecar, gets in the sidecar, and then he's like fighting with the other German who's like driving the main bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he like somehow gets him into the sidecar or something like that. And then he like runs into a tree, but only so the sidecar gets taken off. Like and like explodes, and it's like a whole thing. It's all CGI. It's all fucking CGI. And it's like it's
Yeah, like why
happening at
couldn't you
night and
explode that
stuff.
guy for real?
Yeah, exactly. No, but the way they filmed it with the CGI and everything like that, it didn't feel like Indiana Jones. It felt like I was watching a Disney movie, like
Well,
like a
technically,
shitty.
yes.
Yeah, but
Uh,
like that wouldn't have ever happened in one of the
oh,
original
no.
Indiana Jones movies, right?
Yeah,
Like
definitely not.
it's so, but it's just, oh,
There's
I
definitely
don't.
something grounded about the original Indiana Jones movie with like, the infamous or not infamous, but like, the big boulder and everything. Like it
Yeah,
just like there's just something like it's not like a superhero movie. It's like a grounded like adventure movie kind of.
yeah.
So I don't see why that, you need to have like see it's kind of how like the Fast and Furious movies went from car movies to like superhero movies where they
Yeah.
just like they have like superpowers, but like that's kind of funny. But
Mhm.
it doesn't really work for Indiana Jones. Uh
Uh, Um, one thing I can think of is because they're roughly around the same time period is in The Last Crusade. Remember when the room gets set on fire and they're tied to the chairs
yeah.
and they back up into the chimney and it turns into a revolving door? But that scene takes like 3, 4, or 5 minutes, however long, right? Um, amazing scene for an action movie. In this one, he like gets discovered as a Nazi spy, and the Nazis are like hanging him, and like a bomb comes through the roof and like goes into the floor multiple floors down and blows up, kills all the Nazis around him, but he's still like getting choked out, but like he's like swinging, and like the ground is missing below him, and it falls like 8 stories into a pit of fire where the bomb blew up, right? And like he's like swinging around, shitty CGI. It's like what the fuck am I watching, you know? And this was like in the first like literally like 3 minutes of the movie. I'm sorry. I gotta
I
rant about it because
I
it was
also
just
heard
like
that the Flash at the end has very bad. I haven't seen that movie either.
I haven't seen.
I
I
don't
have
know
no
why we
intention to
review
watch it.
movies. I literally don't want to see any of the new ones. Besides,
No, but I was saying if I can pull out my phone real quick, I made a list of like all the movies coming out within the next
yeah, a few of them are
4 months.
exciting. Mission Impossible 7. Barbie,
Oppenheimer, Barbie.
Oppenheimer.
I haven't seen Asteroid City yet. I'm kind of on the fence about watching that one.
Yeah, that one.
Um,
I have
A
that on my
Haunting in
list.
Venice.
I haven't seen that or heard about that one actually.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it till the other day too, which is why it's the last one on my list here. It's you remember Murder on the Orient Express and Death
Yeah.
on the Nile?
Is it
This
like
is the third one.
I didn't see the second one. Well, I started watching the second one and I got bored, so I stopped.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It wasn't that good. I was actually surprised when I watched it and I saw Kenneth Branagh as Inspector. Oh fuck.
Whatever his
Uh,
name is, doesn't really
I don't want
matter.
to say Kuzo because I think that's not. I think that's the Pig Panther. Uh, yeah, it's the Pig Panther.
Speaking of great movies
Shock
from my
whatever.
childhood that weren't actually that good,
Hamburger, hamburger,
the Pink
hamburger.
I love the Pink Panther when I was a kid, and
Uh,
it's definitely such a bad movie. It's like with Steve Martin, and everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
hamburger,
like
hamburger.
I think there are multiple of them. Uh,
Herc-
I I
Hercule Poirot. That's it. Inspector Poirot. That's it.
I think the worst one from my childhood is the Cartoon Network. I think it was one season of Destroy Build Destroy. I think I sent you
Oh my
this.
god.
It
Yeah.
has a 3.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
That show, it was so. I thought it was cool because it like came. I can't remember. I had to be like like 10, 11,
It
12 or whatever
catered
when it
to
came
my
out.
childhood tendencies to just to blow things up and then rebuild them like with Legos and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's no way they built those things though. It's
What?
like they would destroy a bus and have to turn it into a boat, and like all of a sudden the boat had like a propeller on it, and it's like what? Where was the propeller on the bus? What? It's
Obviously
like
in I don't know, man. It's the catalytic
uh,
converter or
uh,
whatever. I don't know.
uh, I don't know either. It's
What kind of
I barely
propeller?
remember that
You
show.
just bought a boat.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, maybe the
Um,
bus, because the bus has such a big engine, it might have like a
I
fan.
mean, I'm
I
maybe
don't
the
know.
cooling fan, but like
Yeah,
I don't know
I
either.
doubt that would work as
It
a
looks like it looked
propeller.
more like a propeller than a fan.
Anyway, enough about Destroy Build Destroy. I just wanted to make sure that was included in the podcast today.
Yeah. All right. So Mission Impossible
Mission
6.
Impossible 6.
Bum bum
Uh,
ba-da-da, bum, ba-da-da.
is such a good theme song too. It's
Oh,
so good.
dude! Whenever the opening scene happens and something seriously goes wrong, and like they're like, Ethan, everything's gone wrong. The
Ethan.
world's gonna explode. And then he's like, not on my watch. And then cut to the credits and fucking rope burning or whatever shit. And it's like, oh man, I'm gonna go watch one of those movies right after this.
Speaking of using practical effects and not CGI, you
Dude,
know
I want to go watch it. Oh, maybe I can do it tomorrow night.
which
Maybe
one?
I'll
The
ask
new one?
Ben or Jared. Yeah, I really want to watch it.
I do
I'm
too.
I'm seeing Oppenheimer with Ben next Thursday. The
What?
Thursday it comes out.
Oh,
Or
they
I
come
guess
out.
I think it comes out on a Wednesday. Isn't it the 20th or 19th? I'm seeing it the 20th with Ben, I think.
Are you seeing Barbie on the same day?
I'm not. Just because I work. I'm a working
Yeah, I was
person
gonna say if
and
it comes out on Thursday, you probably don't have time to see both.
it's
And
the Thursday night. Yeah, it's at 6:30 and it's a 3-hour movie, so we're probably not going to get out of there or no, 10, 11, 10, 11. Sorry.
yeah, so then you'll watch
Quick maps.
Barbie and then finish at.
I don't know if they have a showing that late. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they have a showing that late. I'm
I
not I'm not on
I
I'm
I
not on the edge of my seat for Barbie.
I kind of want to see like I just want to see what the because I feel like the atmosphere in the Barbie theater on opening night is gonna be electric, as they say. Uh,
Be
it's.
fantastic.
I wonder if like TikTok's gonna do that thing with like the Minions movie where they all dress up in
It
suits,
was
but
suits.
it's gonna be like for the Barbie movie and the
Uh,
Oppenheimer movie.
I was gonna say, I hope everyone dresses up in like 1940s suits for the
That would
Oppenheimer
be
movie.
I don't think that would be that accessible. I mean, like everybody had suits for like But
Yeah.
unless there's an easy way, maybe they could wear like the hats that they had back
Yeah.
then or something.
No, I'm excited for that movie. I work in the nuclear industry with nuclear reactors, right? And
Yeah, as one does. Yeah.
as a kid, I was always fascinated with the Manhattan Project and nuclear weapons after that, just because it's such a interesting thing. And so I know the story pretty well. So I'm curious to see how they write it out, especially for Oppenheimer, because he was a very interesting person.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you ever try to build a nuclear reactor in like your garage or something as a child?
no, I was not the Boy Scout that did it with like a bunch of smoke
Oh, did
detectors.
somebody actually like somebody did that?
Yeah, someone. I think it's a true story. I've read about it. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure Snops could tell you in 2 seconds. But some Boy Scout who was like 16 or 17 years old, he took a bunch of I don't know what's in smoke detectors. I don't know what element it is, but he took a bunch of those and he started some type of reaction, or I don't even know if he started a reaction. I think it was just there was enough there was enough radioactive material in one area to set off some alarms, I think, and people came. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. No, I did not make a nuclear reactor in my backyard. I did not.
This is good news. But
Um, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I might have to see it that night then.
It's an interesting cast too. A cast I would never expect to be in movies together. You got Killian Murphy, Matt Damon. What? Robert Downey Jr. What? Um, I, I don't think John Krasinski's in it. Though
No,
he's in like a lot of
Emily Blunt,
Emily Blunt's
his
in it.
wife is in that.
Yeah, I know he's been in a lot of the photos at the premiere and stuff like that. And they were saying there might be a cameo from him, but
It'd be him as Reed Richards in Oppenheimer as well.
yeah,
Because
Reed Richards.
he was Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
Oh, I haven't seen those. I haven't seen that.
What?
Sorry, I haven't seen Fantastic Four with him. No, because
It
wasn't
hasn't
there
come
one
out
that?
yet.
Oh, it hasn't.
It was him in Doctor Strange 2. You said you liked that movie. You remember?
Oh my God, you're right.
He
Yeah.
was in Doctor Strange 2.
Sorry, I don't. I was never big on the Fantastic Four.
It's-
It was very because
Sorry,
wasn't there
that was
one?
probably a
No.
very stupid joke, but it happens.
No, I mean, wasn't that the basis of the Fantastic Four? Didn't he turn them all into superheroes from like some
Well,
science experiment?
it was like, it depends which one you go. I haven't seen the Fan Four Stick movie, but I've seen the original ones, and they went on like a moon landing mission or something. It might have been an asteroid. I don't remember. And then there's like some solar storm. I don't know. But yeah, some experiment went wrong.
Yeah. Oops.
Whoopsie.
Oopsie doozy. Oopsie daisy.
That's why you follow the lab instructions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No. Did you see Tenet?
yes,
I wasn't the biggest fan of Tenet.
I thought it was fine.
I
Like
thought it was okay. It
it
was
was
like
it was interesting. Like it was worth watching. But
you ever see Looper?
yeah, I like Looper.
Is in my mind they're very similar movies, especially when you induce time travel in a closed loop like that with like one main character. You know, because like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like there's the grand reveal at the end of the movie that you know. It, I don't know. I didn't think too much of Tenet.
I don't even
I know.
remember what the grand. Oh, actually, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Well, it was different because
his name
it,
was
it,
his, like his buddy, and he recruited him in the future, and he's been all the way back in the past at the opera house. I don't know
well,
what's his name.
if
Um,
we're gonna talk about
Patterson.
time loops, I don't know if you've seen the series Dark, the German Netflix show.
I have not seen the German Netflix show Dark.
It's really
Nine.
good. It's
Is it?
it's wunderbar, as they say. in Germany.
Did they say Wunderbar?
I don't know, maybe.
I think they say Wunderbar or Super.
Shut up.
I took one semester in German in
Oh,
college.
okay. Anyway, it's
Oh,
really good. Would recommend. Slightly related to that, but I'm not going to reveal too much else. So,
oh,
yeah,
that's dark. Okay. Well, Looper.
Looper. Anyway, Mission Impossible 6. We keep talking, we keep starting it, and then we don't talk
Yeah.
about it.
So one big theory I have about Across the Spider-Verse is that Spider-Man 99 is actually the Peter Parker that never became Spider-Man. And this was my theory as I was watching the movie, and I told Ben after it, and he was like, "Oh, it's a decent theory, but it doesn't check with what the ending of the movie showed." But I thought that Spider-Man 99, because you know how he said that there was like Miles Morales wasn't meant to be Spider-Man because his spider traveled through the Spider-Verse to his world.
Yeah.
I thought what was going to be the grand reveal was that Spider-Man 99 Spider went through the verse to Miles Morales and he was supposed to get bit because if you remember he had to like inject himself with the Spider-Man stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was going to be the real and he'll be the bad guy, right? Because he was like mad that his Spider-Man
Well,
identity got
maybe
taken
that
away
will
from
be
him.
revealed in the next movie.
Maybe, but I think, it's pretty concrete now that it's like, oh, Miles Morales wasn't supposed to be because in this world that he accidentally went to that was the Spider's original world. It's very, very
Oh,
not a
yeah,
great
no,
place.
that's
You know what
true.
I
I
mean?
I did kind of forget that happened at the end
Yeah.
of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't Spider-Man 99's world. It was the spider that bit Miles Morales' world.
Yeah.
And so that theory goes out the window, but I still thought it would have been pretty interesting if that's the route they went down. Because it's still, I don't know too much about Spider-Man 99. Um, but like maybe there's an explanation for why he has to inject himself with the Spider-Man juice, if you will.
I mean, I think it could be that he's just that's just how it worked on his world. Like, I mean, literally there's an anime character that has a spider that controls a robot. So I feel like it's not out of question that the explanation is just that's how it is because it's a different Spider-Man. There's like a T-Rex Spider-Man, like you could be like, how did that happen? You know?
Yeah.
But uh
Dinosaur World, the meteor never came, right?
it never came. Well, the meteor actually
Yeah,
carried a radioactive spider, and that's what.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that movie did the canon events thing because now like every time like I'm at a party and I should be socializing, being like trying to pretend to be an extrovert, going out of my boundary zone, I could just be like, nope, it's a canon event. I'm
You
supposed to
you
go home.
just you self justify it as a canon
It's
event.
self-justifier. It's a Prosper Chumlin canon
Eat,
event. I gotta.
eating this entire can of ice cream is a canon event for me. I gotta.
If I deviate from this canon event, millions will die. Kind of.
It's like the
I
butterfly effect, like trying to like justify like all your actions, like Your Honor.
Your Honor.
If I didn't drink and drive, the world would end. It's a canon event. And
Did you
then
see the movie American Made with Tom Cruise, where
no,
he plays what's his name, something Seal or whatever, John Seal. He's he worked for the Escobars, trafficking drugs to and from America. It's like he's in a courtroom like with handcuffs and or courthouse with handcuffs and like there's a bunch of cops like pushing him down the hallway. And so there's like this funny meme. It was like it's like me if drunk driving were illegal. You gotta. I've learned one thing as an adult. It's that everyone secretly drinks and drives.
I don't do that.
I I don't do it either. But like all my coworkers, they love doing it.
Yeah,
They
I mean
just the
that
second and alcohol touches their lips, they're shaking for their car keys.
there are like two things that really piss me off. One is when people are like on their phone and driving, and they're like, especially if they're driving other people, like, and the second one is definitely if people are drunk and drive, like not like in order or anything, but
In order.
in order, not in order or anything, but. Yeah, that it like I like if I'm sitting in that car, I will like physically feel horrible. So
Oh,
yeah, that and when
yeah.
people
It's. I think it's a.
chewing their mouth open. That
Uh,
not in
I
any
think it's a
order or
boomer
anything.
thing. I think it's a boomer thing.
It
They like to
probably
drink and
is. I
drive.
mean, yeah, they're all like depressed or something, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious. I want to see like a DUI versus
Age.
like date like year of birth.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
our generation just texts and
I'm
drives,
curious if like the 1960s to 70s, like, yeah,
which isn't like much better.
no,
So, anyway,
yeah.
Mission Impossible
Anyway, Mission
6.
Impossible, Mission Impossible 6. It's just a very good action movie. It's got
I love it. It's so good.
the scene in France where they show the what the plan is supposed to happen, and Ethan Hunt's conflicted with killing an innocent officer, and then versus when it actually happens, he's like, "We're doing it my way."
Yeah.
Um, I really like those movies that like I don't know. The common theme is that everyone tells Ethan Hunt he can't do it. That you can't save everyone. You can't do it your way. And every time he does it his way and he saves everyone. It's incredible, this guy. Well, he didn't save Alec Baldwin, but they did kill off Alec Baldwin before he accidentally did kill someone. So
That's true. He
I
was a
guess it worked out for them, I
they
guess.
were
Even
thinking
though
ahead. Yeah.
even though they didn't save Alec Baldwin in the movie, I guess Ethan's sad about that. The CIA or the MIF or IMF
IMF. It's
IMF director is
they
dead.
known as or some may not know stands for the Impossible Mission
Mission
Force,
Force.
which I learned in Mission Impossible 3, which I watched yesterday.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes.
There you go. Yeah, that one's. I think that one's a little silly. I like the little things in the people's heads that is like snap and they're like they just die. It's like it's like such a MacGuffin in that movie. It's unfortunate that they made it that way. I mean, those movies are built around like MacGuffins, right? Like in in episode in like the fourth one, it was like the nuclear football,
Yeah.
right? That he slams the abort button at the end, and the in Ghost no, that was Ghost Protocol. In Rogue Nation, it was like the what do you call it? The bank codes, right? That they had to get from the underwater um
Yeah, the energy
spinny thing.
the reactor, yeah. Or
Yeah, yeah.
the power plant, yeah.
Yeah, and then in the sixth one, it was the plutonium cores. I wonder what it's going to be in Dead Reckoning.
Probably some other sort of nuclear.
Nuclear.
Maybe it's the monkey's paw from the third one. That would be
uh,
cool. Because I guess now that I've watched that, I know that that hasn't been addressed in the other ones, right? And
I don't believe it has, but
it's
I
on the
mean,
table.
uh, I don't, I don't know if I know who the villain is. I haven't watched like any trailers or
Oh no,
anything about
I
this
don't
movie.
watch trailers anymore. Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
going in it completely unknown. So I
yeah.
don't, I don't know if it's gonna be uh oh, what's his name? The fucking four-eyed guy who grew a beard and lost his glasses somehow. Um,
What?
Faust.
What?
Faust? No, Ilsa Faust is
That's
the
the
girl,
girl.
the woman. Who's the Solomon Lane? That's it.
Solomon Lane. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be the bad guy again, or if it's gonna be someone different. Because he's still alive. He got choked out in the building, right?
Yeah, he's
By
alive.
by
Yeah.
by Benji um
Faust.
and what's yeah.
Yeah.
Only Henry Cavill died, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really want to go see it. It's just I think this is the first weekend it's out, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a mission impossible to get tickets
Boom,
to
boom,
like
boom.
and like not tickets at like the front of the seat where you're like this the entire time, like actually decent
Yeah.
seats. I'm happy because I guess no one goes out to the movie theater in Monroeville. So
I actually am
that,
walking distance. This apartment is walking distance from a movie theater
is it
now.
a good theater?
I've been there. It's pretty solid. So I
Is it what is it? AMC or a
yeah, it's AMC.
Cinemark?
I
Um,
think it's AMC.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so I bought the tickets today for the Thursday showing of Oppenheimer, and Ben and I have pretty good seats, like almost in the center middle of the entire thing. It's offset by like 2 seats. Um, so I don't know. I'll see if I can swing Mission Impossible maybe tomorrow night or Sunday
Yeah, I might see it
evening before game night.
maybe Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, we got
I could see it
game
Sunday
night.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Game night with the lads.
With the boys.
Yeah.
Um,
I really loved Henry Cavill's character in this movie. I just love I love the mustache. I love like you could always kind of tell that he was gonna be the villain, I think. But
yeah,
he's also
the
like
fucking the arm reload.
yeah, that's so cool. That's
So badass. It's badass.
and the action is so good in the movie. It's like and then the fact that they actually literally jumped out of a plane and filmed the skydiving, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Like, man,
the stunts. It's not CGI, is what I'm saying. It's fuck.
yes,
Yeah, it's real.
it's fucking real.
Oh my god, it's. Oh my god, man. Indian. Oh god, that movie just upset me. And I told you about the fucking dumbass ending, right?
Yes.
I was actually like, okay, this movie could like redeem itself after it had the fucking Antonio Banderas like underwater scuba diving bullshit, which you don't even know about because it's fucking stupid. And I was like, oh man, they're gonna you gotta stop Hitler. What are you gonna do? And then they fly through the fucking portal and it's Game of Thrones. It's like what the fuck? It's like they're in a plane, right? They fly through the portal and they come down, and it's like triremes and old boats with like fucking people with pikes and swords. It's what? What am I watching? The fuck is this? Uh, yeah,
So, I think we've kind of talked for a while and not gotten to depth on anything. So I think this is kind
that's
of a good
fine.
time to wrap it up,
We've
perhaps.
been away for a while. It's
We have. It's
a general recap.
we've lost focus. We just tried to do
Maybe
everything at once, really.
yeah, maybe next episode we'll narrow it down to MI7 and Oppenheimer when we've seen
Yeah.
both of them. So
I
probably in
might
like a
not
week
have
or a
seen
week and a
maybe just
half.
MI7.
Yeah, and then we could do Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Prosper, do you want to close us out here, potentially?
Um, thank you, Lord Jesus, for I'm joking. Hey, wait a second. You're not allowed to do that. What are you doing? I said Lord Jesus.
Oh shit, my bad.
Ugh.
My bad.
That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Um, no, I don't know. Play ball.
Sounds good.